Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Troy from the Troy D 24/7 Mall On Point Reviews. All day, every day, we're back with fragrance that basically won the polls yesterday. I did a poll yesterday of maybe 4 or 5 fragrances, and this one won. And this is quite interesting because it's spring and summer, but people want to know about this one. Why? I can totally understand, because of very, very polarizing and a lot of my friend said BS reviews. Okay, so we're gonna go into a no BS review. I mean, we just call it no hype review anyways, but today's fragrance is none other than Memo Paris African Leather. Memo Paris African Leather. This is from the Tenzin care package. Tenzin being the second most popular person in the channel after me. All right, thank you, Tenzin. Randomly pulled out of the package a few days ago, and I was so excited because, I was like, wow, this one is, I wanted a full bottle of this at one point, okay? So, before we continue, we're going to go hit the music. All right, guys, welcome back. Memo African Leather. Man, I'm pretty excited about this. So Memo Paris African Leather is one of the most polarizing reviewed scents, or just chosen scents in the fragrance community by my experience, okay? When I first started looking at reviews, I got bombarded with this Memo Paris African Leather. When I first started, basically all the big reviewers were like, this is the bomb, this is it, this make you smell like a king, this will get you laid, everything, right? There were also people that I considered like legitimate post this as like their number one in like some of their lists. It's like Memo Paris best leather ever. So I was like, wow, that's great. And then maybe a few weeks ago, one of the reviewers that I followed, he commented on my video before. His name is Eugenius. Well, he made a video that African Leather was the worst fragrance that he has ever smelled, that it's absolute crap, So I was like, wow, okay. But I don't know, because it's like spring and summer. As you know, if you guys follow my Instagram where we do the splits, basically everything I'm pouring some of my money into are spring summer bangers, so that everybody can really take advantage of it. Either you guys learn from the videos and it makes you gives you guys an informed decision, or you guys purchase the decants from me or the splits, so we can all enjoy them together, right? So basically Memo Paris African Leather wasn't in my horizon at all, just because it was mostly known as a fall winter scent. But again, Tenzin saves the day. Tenzin is the bomb. He included Memo Paris African Leather in the package, and so I was like, whoa, okay, thank you so much, man, because that saved us a lot of time. And it turns out that this is the most demanded one, that you guys really want to hear about Memo Paris African Leather. Okay, so we shall proceed. So common misconceptions or whatever common feedback that we get on Memo Paris African Leather is that there is no leather. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people are saying. It's not leather at all. This is not a leather fragrance. That's what we get. Now, mind you guys, I love leather. I've reviewed Clive Christian C. I've reviewed Ombre Leather. And Pure Distance M, for example, is one of my favorite leathers. That's not really a leather. It doesn't feel like it, okay? Memo Paris African Leather, how much leather is really in this? Is this really a leather fragrance? I will say, as a leather person, okay, that even if, and I'll explain later, even with the ingredients of this, the blend of the different ingredients of this, I will say this, that this still, to me, counts as a leather fragrance, okay? Whether it's the amount of leather, it's not a lot, but then the overall vibe, guys, when I explain it to you guys, it really feels like a leather fragrance. Not the leather fragrance that we know, where it's like you smell it and immediately you think about the, like the Chanel leather. When you smell it, you know it's something, it's a leather thing. It was inspired by leather boots. Clive Christian C, you smell it, you know it's like an expensive like Bergdorf Goodman jacket. You know, this one here does not have that. It's not like a direct, like you smell it and you're like, oh, that's leather. Okay, so let me proceed. Why is Memo Paris African Leather, why is it popular? Why is it famous? I will tell you this, it's probably because of the saffron. Okay, now what I noticed with the frag community is that if saffron is linked into almost anything, even challenging notes, I noticed that a lot of the fragcom people really enjoy this. A lot of people will herald this as like an amazing fragrance. Maybe because saffron is amazing, you know, but I noticed that with Oud for Greatness, for example, where it was like, as an oud lover, as an oud person who has a lot of ouds, okay, when I tried Oud for Greatness, I was like, oh, there's that medicinal oud. I was like, how do people like this? Like, I mean, I'm just thinking about the Westerners, you know, Western people that are not into oud, you know, or just, you know, never encountered that. I'm just like, how do they? Oh, okay. I'm thinking like, how are they hyping it up so much? But then it's because there's also a generous dose of saffron in it that makes it likable. And so even if it's challenging in a way, the saffron kind of balances it out, and then, you know, suddenly in your brain you're like, oh, it's great. You know what I mean? Even if there's a challenging part of it. Now, what's the challenging part of Memo Paris African Leather? I would say it would be the cumin. Okay, the cumin is definitely there. A lot of this has geranium, which is sort of like a peppery green note. So you have like a lot of cumin, a lot of pepper. This is the challenging part, I would say. The opening is so nice, by the way. So one of the reasons why it's nice is the opening is freaking glorious. I remember when I sprayed this on the first time, I was like, wow, amazing. Let me spray it again, actually. Spray it again. Okay. Oh, yeah. See right there, you have the saffron, you know, you have bergamot as well. So the initial blast, right, will make you feel good. Okay, I think it's those notes that make you feel good, right? It's like, okay, but within seconds, okay, there's couple changes that happen. Number one, cumin starts popping, right? Cumin starts popping. Cardamom starts popping, but the cardamom's actually nice. Just smelling it out of here, like the cardamom is like the saffron in a way. Like the cardamom helps it make it nice and really lovable by many. The cardamom makes that happen. Cardamom, saffron, bergamot. These are things that, again, if we look at most loved, most beloved niche fragrances, man, we know. I mean, this is what we all love. So it's like a familiar thing. When we smell this, we're like, oh, you know, I love this. It's right there. But here's the thing. So it changes into that little cumin right here. The cumin starts making it a little bit more challenging. Okay. And then there's also, like I told you, the other kind of like that spicy notes. The geranium is there. And then there's also oud. Okay. So for people that are saying that there's no oud, are you kidding me, guys? Like, maybe you haven't smelled enough real ouds, but this is oud. The oud here, I've smelled in many other fragrances. The oud comes out for sure. Okay, so there's oud. So there's oud, and then there's cumin, and then there's geranium. Okay, and then on the dry down. Okay, and this is again, this is where kind of like preferences set apart. It's vetiver, patchouli, right? So we know there are people that don't like vetiver, there are people that don't like patchouli, but combined vetiver and patchouli, right? That is mostly on the dry down as well. Now there is a leather note. It's very faint, but I would say, guys, that the overall combination of this, from the cumin, the oud, and the geranium, you know, mixed with the dry down, I would say that there is a leather feel. Okay, that when you do spray this on yourself, you will know that this is a leather fragrance. So let me just dispel that whole it's not leather at all. No, absolutely not. It might have a somewhat bright opening, but within seconds it really does change. Okay, there is a medicinal nature to this, so that's something to expect as well. Maybe because it's the peppery side of it, maybe it's the oud, but there is a medicinal side of this that, on my first impression, after smelling it, my wrist actually, I was like, it gave me that impression of sort of like a hospital in a way, and I'm not like 100%. I've been in a hospital in a few, months, but it gave me that sort of like that hospital, like clinic vibe. I don't know, but that's what I got just sniffing my wrist. Now, it's a different scenario when I'm doing a full spray. Doing a full spray of this, of course, whatever the intensity of what I'm smelling through my wrist to my wrist is definitely lessened because it's more of just the projection and the sillage of this Memo Paris African Leather. The sillage here is pretty nice, pretty decent. Longevity is decent as well. I would say maybe 7 out of 10 on each. And overall, like I said, maybe that's what African leather smells like. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the inspiration. It's like not creating a direct leather counterpart, because Memo has all these leathers, right? Russian leather, Irish leather. I've never tried any of those, so let me know if you guys have those. Maybe you guys can send me a sample of that. That would be great. I'll shout you out here in the channel. But I think that's why. I think that they basically take a leather sort of like a cord and make it into something else, and it's quite beautiful. Okay, but now we can all guys understand why it's loved, why it's somewhat hated. People love it because bright, nice, really good opening, right? Saffron, right? Cardamom, right? As well as bergamot. See? Very likable opening. Number 2, the challenge, little bit of that challenge. That's where people's opinions separate on this. Cumin, right? Geranium, right? Spices, okay? And then the dry down vetiver patchouli leather. The dry down is actually quite nice. It feels familiar though. I feel like just because I've smelled so many ouds, like I feel like it's so familiar. It's sort of like an oud vetiver patchouli combination. I don't know. The leather is, I don't know if it's just lingering or what, but it's the overall feel. Okay, the spice is just the cumin is always gonna be there to create. Yeah, maybe that's what it feels like. Maybe that's what African leather really is, or I don't know if there is such a thing like leather based on Africa, but definitely I think that it's a great creation. Is this for everybody? I don't think so. But if you are ready to challenge yourself, if you are more on your exploratory mode, you're not like a closed book where you're just like you're decided on certain fragrances, like you just like box yourself in. Like if you're the type of person that you haven't boxed yourself in, you're ready to explore, you're ready to check out some stuff, then definitely try a decant of this at least, so you can have a feel for it and you can understand what I'm talking about, what the other people are talking about. I think that this is actually decant worthy. Okay, is it full bottle worthy at $275? I am not sure, especially not for whether you're on a budget or you just won't risk that much. $275, you're gonna risk that much for a leather frag. I'm not sure if I can say that it would be like full bottle worthy. Okay, but if you like leather fragrances, I think you're gonna appreciate this. I think you're gonna really, really appreciate this because it's like, oh, it's not leather, but it is. Like that's kind of like the feeling. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. That's my review on Memo Paris African Leather. Again, let's thank Tenzin. Tenzin, thank you so much for this opportunity. He's gonna send some more stuff, by the way, which is awesome. Can't wait to try those. They're all popular. So Tenzin is a really cool collector. I consider him a really cool collector with a really cool collection. Just looking at what he sent me, it's like, wow. Thank you so much, Tenzin. And again, don't forget that we do have a 2K giveaway. That's on my Instagram. Make sure you follow the Instagram. It's very easy. You just basically subscribe here and on the Instagram. Get on it because we're gonna have 6 winners that we're gonna give some prizes to. So make sure you guys join that. And other than that, that's it, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe and watch all our videos. Enjoy, guys. Take care. Peace.